All right, so now we're getting into the part. We're getting into what this is all about, which is the combat, the fighting. But
So you would have a council of war, unless you were Timor, and then you didn't, but just about everybody else did the night before. And then the sub-commanders would go out, and as late as the American Civil War, it was very difficult to make adjustments in the battle once it got rolling. So each player is going to be dealt a hand of cards, and these are going to be what he uses to issue commands to his units down here.
Okay.
So, for instance, if I want this dime, if I want this horseman to move here, I need to have a hearts card. All right. So we will first talk about the values of these cards. The command values of these cards are 2 through 10 on the numbered cards, deuce through 10. The jack is 11. The jack gives you special bonuses. The queen is 12, gives you special bonuses. All the face cards do. We're leaving the 13th floor of the military hierarchy vacant, and the king is worth 14. The ace 15, like he is in rummy. The low joker 16, the high joker 17. That's for the command abilities. The cards are used, the face cards are used differently for combat resolution. The face cards are all valued at 1 for combat resolution. Okay, which is what you want. You want a low card. Okay, but for commanding, for giving orders, you want a high card. So I'm going to deal us each 7 cards. Once we have, neither one of us has a hand of cards anymore, then the pathos phase, the initiative phase, us imposing our hubris on the world for military action is over. Now it's all in the wind and it's a shit show. Okay, so then we go into the chaos phase, then we go into the panic phase. And after the panic phase is over, then as soon as an army, the panic phase ends when an army breaks. And then once the army breaks, then you have the rout phase, which is where you determine how great the victory is and whether the loser can get any of his army off the board. All right?
7, 7. Okay.
And just like in rummy, you'll have a deck and you'll have a top discard. Okay, so the jack. If anytime you pull a jack out of here, whether it's for combat resolution, because these are all unique cards, anytime you pull a unique face card out of here, a jack, that permits you, or you play a jack out of here, that permits you to take the next card in the deck and set it aside for a separate hand, for your route hand, so you could actually issue commands to try to pursue a broken army or to get a broken army off the board. Anytime you play a queen, you get to take the top discard and put it in your route hand. The queen of battle is the sword. The sword was militarily used mostly for slaughtering defeated enemy. Okay. All right. So the king, anytime you pull a king or play a king, you get 3 cards. That's a big deal, but there's only 4 kings in here. The ace gives you a lot of command points, and the different suits of face cards also have their own special things. There's a lot of that in there, so no game could be exactly the same. So you check out your cards. If there was 2 of us to a side, let's say if it was you and Rick against Nell and me, Nelson might say, okay, I want to be in charge, James. I'm going to take these 3 cards and give you these 4 cards. Okay? So that's it. So remember, if you have a card, if I want to move this unit that's 8 points, I need an 8-point card to do it. I can't do it with a 7-point card. And since this unit is a quarter, which represents a spades, I need a spade to move this sucker. I need a club card with a value of 12 to move this unit right here.
So you can't have a higher suit move it as a superior?
Spades can move anything.
Okay.
Okay. you know, clubs, diamonds, hearts, they only move their own suits.
Okay.
Spades can move spades and anything, because there's usually only one spade unit on the board.
Right.
Okay, so if you've got a hand and you've got no spades in it, you're going to have very limited command and control.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you organize your hand. Why don't you show the people your hand?
Okay,
on the video. Okay, while I organize my hand, and then you could show them my hand.
Yeah, I got one. Well, I guess it's this is for instructional purposes. I have one spade.
Okay.
I got the queen of spades, so I actually don't have the highest, versatility and command.
All right. So what I have here, I have 3 hearts. So I'm going to be doing a lot with this one cavalry unit, right?
Okay.
I have 1 diamond, which does jive with my one diamond. I'm sorry. Do I have a diamond? No. Okay. So the diamond. I mean, I don't have a nickel unit here. I don't have that, right. So I don't even have that. Okay, so this is a card. I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. I've got 1 spade, which is an ace, which is great. Now, fortunately, I've got a king of clubs. And when I play that king, I'm going to get to pull 3 cards. And I'm going to hope they're clubs because I've got a bunch of clubs to move. Okay, so it could give you an idea of you can't just do everything you want to do at any given time. In World War II games, that's usually dictated by your fuel and your ammunition and your supply. But in a situation like this, a lot of it has to do with the individual initiative of the guys represented by these coins here, and how do they match up with your plans and your desires and everything.
So just to sum up again, clubs are pennies, nickels are diamonds.
Nickels are diamonds.
Hearts are your aristocrats. Dimes.
So they're the dimes.
And the quarter is your spades.
Right. So I've got this unit and this unit are going to be very important for me because I got these 3 hearts.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll be able to do a lot on the flanks. I'll be able to move these guys in the middle. I'll even be able to, since I made this a penny, I'll even be able to fire with him. Of course, a spade gives me 15 points to spend wherever I want. Okay, because the spades can command anything. And I'm going to end up with 10 cards pretty soon because I'm going to be deploying the king. When I play the jack, I will take a card and I put it in my route deck without looking at it. When you play your queen, you would take a top card off of here, and you put it in your route deck.
I have, like I said, I mean, I guess I can go over this. I got the hearts, I got diamonds, obviously. I haven't played cards in a million years. I got 1 spade, I got the queen of spades.
So, if how we play is we would lay our card down that we're going to play at the same time. You can play 2 cards at the same time if you want, because you might have to. For instance, and the lower suit moves first, whoever is it. So play your first card or cards. Show you why I'm playing 2 cards, even though it doesn't feel great.
Alright, so the diamonds is, I don't have any clubs, but diamonds are the lowest next suit. Alright, 2 of diamonds.
7. Let's put both of them down.
So I can still, with the diamonds, I can still move my pennies, right? Because they're above. Oh no, you can't. You can only move their own.
Right.
So I actually can't use a lot of my peasants.
Right, but we'll be able to get to pick other cards later. Lots of these types of battles ended up with, like, most of the army just sitting there and watching while a couple of units did stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Okay. So I threw down 6 points here of hearts because I wanted to take some actions with this guy here, and he's 6 points. I've got to spend 6 points just to move this guy. It took me 2 cards.
What is ace? How many points is that again?
That gives you 15 points.
15.
And he's an ace of hearts, so you've got 4 points, and you've got 9, so that moves both of these really nice units right here, okay? it gives you point left over, which it doesn't look like you could really use. But
this is for the movement.
Right, so this would be for the movement. And these guys are in column. Now we're playing hearts here.
Okay.
So the guy that plays the lowest amount of points is now going to move first since we're the same suit. So I will move first, and the cav moves 6. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is a crazy move, but I wanted to demonstrate this. I have 2 movement points left.
Right.
For a cavalry charge, those 2 movement points that are left,
right.
they get added to the initial strength. But I lose a movement point because I went over to strain.
Yeah, it slows you down.
So I only get to add 1 instead of 2.
All
right. So I would be charging this guy with my, 6 plus 7, my bonus points. And we'll cover close combat in a different video. But that was my move. We can do the combat resolution. It can be a whole different video.
So now I can move now.
Right. And I spent these cards. These cards now go in the order that I played them right in here.
And so this is my spent card.
So we're playing him. And now you move both of these guys. They will... it'll cost them an extra movement point to move through here. But where you move them one at a time, and where would you like to move them? Are you gonna move them against this guy?
These are not cavalry, so they go through the water. Because men go into the water.
They'll lose. This is just like a stream, like a creek, so they can go through, but it's going to cost an additional movement point. So moving a column, they move 4 points.
All right.
So that's 1.
So I'll move
2, 3. If you want to, that gets them into close combat.
Yeah,
if you just want to come up here and charge these crackers,
let's fight.
Smack. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry we have this. Ghetto battle right here. And what would happen in this, since these guys are in line, they would get to do a defensive fire against one of these units.
Okay.
And it would be a pretty powerful one, okay, because it would get multiplied because they're close. But we could do a separate video showing how these 2 actions, if you take a picture of this and this, we can do these battle actions tomorrow in a separate video.
All right, so that's good. All right, so we'll do that. Let's stop this.
Okay.